Alright, it's Daryl back again. We're going to check on this little, it's an 8-frame medium box. The only box that I've got like this that's actually got bees in it. I picked this box up from a lady whose husband had died. Well, I picked up all of the equipment, but it's all 8-frame medium stuff. Last time I checked on this hive, it weren't doing too good. We got pretty good activity today, so we're going to look at it and see what's going on with it and see if we need to add another box. It's September 1st, so we've got a couple months left of you know, where the bees can go out and get pollen and honey and all that other good stuff since we're in North Carolina. Right now the goldenrod's starting to bloom, so they're bringing in nectar and pollen off of it. So let's pop the top on this and see what's going on. Alrighty, hopefully this is going to stay where it's supposed to be at. I got to order me a new tripod. This one's seen better days. I've seen some people comment on the fact that some of us beekeepers on YouTube check bees with no equipment, or as far as safety equipment goes, and they're saying that we're just showboating and, you know, trying to do it for views or whatever else. But the thing about it is the beekeepers that I know, they have YouTube channels and do it with no equipment. They do it with no equipment even when the camera's not rolling. So there that is, to dispel any myth. If you're going to do any beekeeping like this right here and not wear equipment, you can't be in a hurry, because the moment you start getting in a hurry, that's when you start getting stung. So back to this hive. This hive's not really doing a whole lot either. There's a little bit of nectar in there. And as you can see, there's only 7 frames in this 8-frame hive. Now if this hive was doing really, really good, they'd already built burr comb or started building off the lid. So this hive's still kind of squeaking along. See, that one's not even drawed out. And that frame's been there for, I know, several months. So I'm just going to move it back out. I mean, well, her pattern's decent, but not the best in the world. When you're looking at patterns and stuff, you're looking at how many cells are filled, and she's leaving a lot of spaces. Her pattern is really bad. So chances are this hive will not make it through the winter, but you never know. If this was earlier in the season and I had queens available, she would probably get replaced. But it's late in the season and I don't have any queens, so we'll just have to see what it can do. And I'm trying to remember where this hive come from as far as the queen and the bees that go along with it. I don't rightfully remember. It almost looks like a cutout, the way the comb looks. See, there's a faux queen cell right there. There's nothing in it, so I'm going to go ahead and tear it down. But they're not in there any danger of leaving. As far as honey stores, they got a little bit of honey stores, but not really a whole lot. There's a little bit across the top of the frame. This frame's actually got a little bit of weight to it. You You can see right there, there's a larva in there, and maybe a few eggs scattered around. Yeah, there's eggs in the bottom of those cells. Not sure if it's focusing on it or not, but that's capped honey on both sides, and then that's worker brood right here. I haven't seen any drone brood in here, which is a good thing. There's some more eggs and larvae. And then there's honey and nectar. Honey is the cap stuff, and the nectar is the stuff you see in the bottom. So there you go. I didn't actually see the queen on the frames. I weren't actually looking for her. If you go through the video, you'll probably be able to find her because I covered the frames pretty good with the camera. There's some more eggs and larvae in there. I don't see very much pollen. I've seen a couple bees coming in with some pollen, but let's see. I guess that's one disadvantage of being in the smaller frames. They ain't got quite as much room. There's a little bit of pollen right there, a little cell worth, but they don't have a whole lot of pollen for sure, and you got to have pollen to make baby bees. There's some right in there, so they're bringing some in. That's actually got an orange tint to it, so there's no telling where it's coming from. I was actually going to find the queen and point her out to you, but sometimes they like to hide. Now when I look through a hive, most of the time, I'm not really looking for the queen. I'm just trying to find out if we have a laying queen, and all you have to do that is to look for eggs and larvae. Some people get hung up on having to find the queen, and I did when I first started. I wanted to see her every time I went in the box, but now I don't really care. As long as you've got eggs and larvae in a box, you know you have a queen. If you'll pay real close attention to the eggs and make sure there's not more than one in the cell, then you know you don't have a laying worker. And one tip, or several signs of a laying worker, is you're going to have multiple eggs in the cell, and you're going to have a whole lot of drone brood. See, when you got a laying worker, all they can lay is unfertilized eggs, and they all turn out to be drones. So, see, there's a bee with some pollen on her legs, in case you hadn't ever seen that. Seems like every time I go in this hive, it's always hard for me to find the queen in here. I think she runs down on the bottom board or something. And like I said, she might be on one of the frames and you'll be able to see her on the video, but I don't know. That's all nectar there. So this hive is doing fair. Chances are it won't make it through the winter, but I mean, sometimes that's just the way it is. Now if this hive was really doing good, I'd be worried about trying to put a frame in there, but since they're not really doing that much, I'm not really worried about it. So there you go. Hive inspection on an 8-frame medium box. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.